It's different. Okay, Tyler.
All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome again to Cat Eyes. We have Masta Peace tonight, and we got Crow, and of course, Cat Eyes just chilling. Um, Basically, gonna do a recap on the Lunar Eclipse Discrepancies video that Masterpiece put out a couple days back. It's been postponed because of various reasons, weather and whatnot, work. But yeah, welcome, guys. What up?
Hello, Masterpiece.
Hello.
Hello.
What up?
What's going on? What's going on? We're in the house.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, man. Lots to talk about. I mean, the lunar eclipse was, I think, something that is going to wake people up a lot. Especially the blue blood moon. Super blue blood moon. And when we look at the history of the blue bloods in our society, we think the noble born, the privileged, the royalty. You know what I mean? So, what was that simplifying for them? What things did they put in place around this time that is going to amplify the blue blood's energy? And of course they have it plastered everywhere, but they're not showing the real science of it. So that's what we're going to really get into with the shadow discrepancies and all of that. So, yeah.
Right on, brother. Right on. What's good, Crow? Welcome, brother. Welcome again for chilling with us on the panel.
Thank you very much. So happy to be on this panel. Want to tell? I'm so excited. I got a P900, so I can't wait to learn about the moon. So let's go.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Anybody want to say anything else or anything before we move forward? All right. All right, Master. Oh, go ahead, Kat.
No, I'm fine. I was gonna say I'm fine.
You want to give a shout out to people in the chat, or what? Is anybody even there? I don't even know what's going on out there. Sorry about that.
All right, I'll tell you who's here. One's here: Carlene, Richard, Luke, Jimbo. The word doctor. Let me see. Hold on. Who am I missing? Oh,
yeah, I want to say
Foxy's here.
Cats, Sandra P900 wants to say hi to you. She's not gonna be on here, so she just want to say hi to you and good luck.
Oh, that was nice of her. But anyways, we can start. So it's all yours.
Right. Yeah, Master, sorry about that. Just want to give a quick shout out to the peeps out there. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Master, the floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We got to say what up to everybody. What's up, everybody on the plane? Peace. So, a couple of things that I had a problem with in the video. If you guys go to my page and you watch the lunar eclipse discrepancies, I had a couple points, and they are basically, why is NASA not covering this? Why can we only see the western part of, like, they were saying that only the western part of North America and Hawaii and Alaska could see it? And why the tides were lower on that day compared to following in previous days. So, first of all, on the day of the lunar eclipse, the super blood moon, the most amazing event of our lifetime, celestially speaking, I went to the NASA live feed, and it wasn't covering it. It was talking about some machinery used on the ISS. It was just completely out of the ordinary. I mean, you'd think that, regular people like you and me were covering it. So, that was one thing that I found odd. And then when you look at the time lapse or the amateur photos or videos of the super blue blood moon, you see that the shadows coming in from the top down. And this is at a time when the sun was also above the horizon. So you have the sun in the sky and the moon in the sky, yet the moon is being eclipsed from the top down. So that made no sense. You know, doesn't I'm sure you guys have seen that.
Yeah, I have.
Oh yeah, everybody saw that one.
Yeah. So that was a really big smoking gun there.
Hmm.
And then the fact that, the moon is supposed to be so far away, and we have pictures of Earth from the moon showing the whole continent of North America. And then when it time lapses in it and it goes over the Pacific Ocean, like around Hawaii, you can still see Eastern Canada and Eastern North America. So I'm wondering, like, they're only saying that parts of North America can see it. Well, that's because the moon is a lot smaller and it's not as far away. You know what I mean? So not everybody's going to see it. It's only going to be a select few, and that explains why that is. And then the third point, about the tides, they say that it was a super blue moon, super because it was close, blue because there was a second eclipse. I mean the second full moon in a month, and then it was an eclipse on top of that. So it's really big and it's really close. Yet the tides are like lower than in the video I showed the previous day, the day of, and then the next days after. And the next days after, the tides rise drastically. So it just didn't make sense. If the moon was supposed to be closer than it's been in a while, why aren't the tides being more drawn to it than ever before? So
Yeah, you said that they had moderate numbers for the tides. The
yeah,
numbers were
very, very
very
moderate.
moderate.
Yeah, kind of like a hurricane where it should get worse. Actually, the waves.
And
Oh.
I looked into it, and you stand correct. They were moderate numbers. If you look into the
Numbers like
information there, yeah.
feet and the 14 feet,
Mhm.
and then you look a couple days later and it's 12 feet and 16 feet, and it was just all over the place. So and plus the fact that there's two tides in a day, that kind of really is a smoking gun there.
I was thinking about maybe we should check into what buoys are out in the ocean.
Yes.
We should probably keep an eye on those things because they have a lot of information. There's data being collected on levels of what the ocean's doing and whatnot. I think that's something we should probably start looking into, see what the effects are with the sun and the moon. I'm sure there's some correlation, just with the tides as well. I'm sure there's something going on.
I'm sure there is too. I mean, I'm sure that it's like if you take a magnet and you hold it in your hand and you have like a bowl of water with some like iron flakes on it, or like I don't know, some cereal with added iron in it,
Mm-hmm.
If you circle above the cup with the magnet enough times, the water will start flowing in the direction, because the object that it's attracting in the cup is flowing with it. So the object in the cup starts stirring up the waters. So I'm wondering, if the sun and moon stopped revolving, would the oceans stop turning?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, who knows? Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it the wind? Is it affecting the wind? Like, I mean, I'm trying to think, is the movement of the moon and sun affecting how the winds are too? Because if the moon and sun stops, if there's still wind, then that will still affect the oceans, right? Or no?
I think it's all connected, and
yeah.
if it stops rotation, you're gonna have a stop in probably a lot of other things. Because if it's energy going in one direction, and now you stop energy flow, I mean,
Yeah,
what's
that's what I
gonna
was
happen when you
wondering.
stop energy? I mean, it could be disastrous. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm
Probably an instant ice age. Who knows?
yeah,
Yeah, that's why I asked about that, because
Everybody just
if
instantly
there's no wind,
densifies
then
on the
it's kind of
spot.
crazy.
Who knows? I don't know. We could only speculate about something like that. That's
well, yeah. I mean, it's science tells us how wind is made, but then you read into books like the Teachings of Don Juan with Carlos Castaneda, which I recommend to everybody. By the way, just to open up your perception of what this place is. In the book, The Teachings of Don Juan, actually, like all of Carlos Castaneda's books on his becoming or a shaman's apprentice, I recommend that all just to realize that it is a realm that we live in, and there are many more layers in this realm, many more possibilities and things at work. So, like I said, the science tells us that, you know, the hot air rises and then the cold air swoops underneath it, and yet it's all going horizontally. Um, I feel that the wind is something magical, just like the sun and the moon and the earth. You know, the wind is the breath and the spirit. You know, it moves along the face of the earth or the deep. You know, the wind carries seeds. You know, it moves snow, it piles snow.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many magical things about it, powerful things. And I think that we would be, you know, ignorant or just playing into their hand if we were to just say, yeah, oh, yeah, the wind is just hot air rising and cold air replacing it. You know, and then we think, are there other suns and moons on this plane, you know, that's not separated by the dome? You know what I mean? Is there another sun and moon within the dome, if there is a dome? And that would mean that if there is, you know, maybe the wind wouldn't stop completely, but we would maybe experience a lot dry. I mean, if we didn't have the sun and the moon, there would possibly be no heat or daylight, because somebody did a video, and I think you guys should all check it out. It's called something along the lines of the sunlight and daylight are different things. And he's going into it, whereas the sun may be like a regulator or like a governor, because if you hold a magnet up above like a neon light, you can actually bend the light and affect its brightness wherever the magnet is. So the magnet seems to be able to pull light and concentrate it. So that's why I say, you know, maybe there would still be day and night, but just no moon and sun. That's a whole nother thing completely. But like Trotter said, I think it is all interconnected.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so how do we start talking about the sun and the moon?
I don't know, but we could go back to where we were if
Okay,
need
yeah,
be.
cool.
But if you, yeah, because I mean, that's a deep topic in itself, and we can just go on and on about that one. And but our buddy James has a lot of information about what the sun may be. So stay tuned for that on Friday, you guys. Tomorrow, is that tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, and should be interesting. His take on everything. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the tides, yeah, we had a couple discrepancies about that, and that's where you were, if you want to just go back to that point.
Yes. A lot of people a lot of people say that the craters the craters shadows, like that's on the moon, that lets us know that they're actually physical craters. But when I look at it, I don't see the craters stretching out, and it just doesn't look natural to me. I mean, just like we all have questions about the moon. And what I think is, well, I always say this, the moon is not emitting light. It is. You can see it's its own light and whatever. But what I'm saying is, it's not like a body that lights up sometimes. What I'm leaning towards is that it is light. When you look at your hand, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down 5 times to make 5 fingers. And there's holes in it. Like you can see through the spaces of your fingers. But that is your body. And if you look at your veins, there's little holes and networks through your veins and your nerves and your muscles and even your bones. If you look at your bones and they get pores and you get the osteoporosis, you look at a bone, and everywhere that there is no bone, you say, well, the bone is not there. There's a hole. So people are looking at the craters as if they're casting a shadow, but I'm saying no. I think that is just a hole. These are holes in the moon. The moon grows itself from a crescent to a gibbous and waning, and as it does that, it's not completely filling itself up, just like how we have like air cavities in our lungs and little spaces in between our nerves and stuff like that. So I just wanted to put that out there for everybody to think about, that when we look at those craters, don't think of them as like craters, because when you say craters, you're going to think something smashed into the moon and exploded and it left a divot there, a hole, a crater. But we can, when you look at the moon in the daytime, you see the blue sky and you see the moon, and then you look at the craters and the craters are blue. And then the night time comes and you look behind the moon, it's black, and then you see the white moon, and then the craters are black. It's not faded, it's not like a faded gray, it's like black. So, that's another discrepancy that I wanted to throw out there for you guys to chew on.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that's their term. That's how they came up with why they're, it looks the way it is, right? Mm-hmm. So that makes sense, there's terminology.
And over all these millennia of people drawing the moon, it's like these craters never change. They say that, every month craters hit the moon. It's just they're so small we can't see it, but NASA can detect it, and it gives the force of trillions of tons of TNT, but we can't feel it or see it. You know what I mean? They say that all these things are hitting the moon and nothing's hitting the Earth. And if the moon is always facing us, then that would mean that there's literally craters every month, or asteroids every month, space debris going around the moon, around the Earth, and hitting the face of the moon. Didn't hit the Earth, the bigger object, but it just flew around the Earth, did a curve, and hit the face of the moon. So we're at the point now where we're laughing. On our side, we're laughing. The globe heads, they're either laughing at the flat earthers or they're questioning. But either way, we come on these shows with confidence because of all these holes in their theories. So, if anybody out there is new to this theory that's watching this, or to these facts, don't shy away from it. Don't think that you're in the wrong place or you're behind the times. You're in the right place at the right time, and we are putting this all together,
Right on, brother. Thank you for that. Yeah.
I think that I think that when we say flat earther or plane earther, I prefer plane earth, or like a realm, because I
Well, aren't we just the earthers and they're the ballers?
Well, no, it's like, it's more than that. We're not. Earth isn't a place. It's not a destination. It's not a state. It's not a state of being, because we have so much variety. We have love and hate and all that. It's a mixture. It's like a realm. It's nowhere and it's everywhere. If you are vibrating on a specific frequency, then you might wake up on Earth, what we call Earth. But if you vibrate on a completely different frequency, you might be able to walk right through me and not see any of this that's happening, but you're still planted on a foundation. You know what I mean? It's
like somebody calls this a matrix. It can still be this as Earth.
Right, like if we went into another dimension, another subtle dimension that's paralleling ours, maybe they don't call it Earth. Maybe they call it something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's clouds that they're walking on. It seems like it's etheric. You know what I mean? It's not like everybody in existence can unanimously say this is Earth. You know what I mean? It's so expansive, it's so big, and it's illusory. Really, it's just an illusion. It's atoms. It's not even atoms. It's vibrations. It's light. It's sound. You know, and we as a human collective consciousness are making our waking reality day by day. You know what I mean? And whatever we watch on TV and learn in school, it's going to manipulate and change our reality. But no matter how much they tell us it's a globe, you can't you can't take a flat plane and imagine it and it come out a globe. You know, there's some, it's like the Matrix says, you know, there's rules in the Matrix, but you can bend them. You know, you can't break them, you can bend them. You can't break the laws of density, but you can bend them by tricking people into thinking it's gravity. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, they twist the words to cut the nerves of
Hmm.
the illusion.
Yeah. If anybody wants to take over, floor is open.
Oh, I was just thinking of, were you speaking in the sense of being everywhere, or being, what was it that you said about being everywhere at the same time or something?
Yeah, this place that we inhabit, this earth.
Like an omnipresence or something?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's
Ubiquity?
multidimensional. It's everywhere. You know, everywhere you go, you're here. No matter, it doesn't matter if you go 20,000 miles west, you're still here. You know, you ask the person, "Hey, where are you?" "I'm here." And then you ask me where I am. "I'm here." So there's that connectivity. You know, it's like saying I am I. You know what I mean? You're you and you're you and you, but we all call each other, we call ourselves I.
Mhm.
And that's what roots us and connects us. Just like the energy that's flowing through us, that is showing our sameness, that we're connected to the one. So this place, it's not like here's a globe here, then 250,000 light years away there's another little habit of life. And no, everywhere is bursting with life, and we're all in this vortex of sound resonance, which is the will of the Most High, and we are all participating in that will, and we have the illusion of free will. I mean, you can kill somebody, but the law of karma is going to come back and get you. You know, you could say, yeah, I have free will, I'm going to eat as much sugar as I want, but the laws of the universal laws is going to make you fat, lose your teeth, lose your hair. So it's how we play out this illusion. Are you gonna play for the side of light or dark? Does it matter to the creator? I doubt it. You know what I mean? It's if you have a litter of dogs, you want them all to realize their full potential. And if one is bad, yeah, you discipline it, you put the karma into place, but it's not like you're gonna put the dog down. It's figuring its own life out. You know what I mean? It's even mothers of murderers, mothers that have children and they're murderers, they still love them deeply. They can't, they imagine how they look to them as a little child. And even though they're 30 now and they've killed 6 people, that mother still looks at him as that little precious baby boy and will always love him. So in the creator's eyes, we talk about the evil and the good, and of course we want to resonate towards the good and the light, but I'm just saying that this is a place where all of that gets worked out: the good, the bad, the confused, the ignorance, the jealous. And that is happening everywhere until maybe you burst, or until you raise up your frequency and wake up in a different life, in a different body, with a different surrounding. But it doesn't mean that you're physically somewhere different than where you were. You're just experiencing a different reality.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like one morning I woke up and even the coffee table looked different, but I knew it was a coffee table. You know, it just stood out more.
Right.
Like I knew I was in the same apartment. You know, I didn't wake up anywhere, but it's just like everything would, like you say, it's like vibrant of you're self-aware more and everything seemed like it's a weird feeling. I can explain it, but yeah, it's just like wow, that's I'm seeing this for the first time in a new light.
Well, it's like breaking up with someone that you love, you know? You get broken up with, your heart is broken.
Hmm.
Now, what are the facts? They don't want to be with you, and you're single. Now, you go into like a 2 week depression, whatever, and you're thinking about, oh, I wish I had her back. I'm so sad. She doesn't want me. But then one morning, like you said, the scarecrow, you woke up and your coffee table looked different. Well, you know, to resonate with more people out there about what you mean is that after the breakup, you know, there's a certain day where you wake up and you say, huh, you know, I can do this. I can get out of bed. You know, oh, the day looks brighter outside. It's the same day outside. In fact, it's probably colder. But your perception, you've gotten over it. You know, your mindset has changed. Your vibration has changed. You said, you know what? I don't need her. You know, I'm good alone. Now, the facts still remain. She doesn't want you, and you're still single. But it's your outlook. Huh? I don't need her. Huh? I can find someone else. I'm better than that, and suddenly you're in a whole different reality where now you know, a new girl steps into your life, or you get that promotion, you know what I mean? So just because it's a subtle change doesn't mean it's not a complete change.
Yeah, being emotionally invested can drain the hell out of you. That's for
Yeah,
sure. You
it
know,
deals with
no
the
doubt.
attachment. That's why we gotta deal. You know what we get attached to. You know, don't get attached to the things that can ruin us. And I think, you know, we get attached to something so much that it takes more precedent over our own lives, so that when we lose these things, you know, it's hard to detach and, you know, have that new morning, like you said, where she's gone, but it doesn't affect me no more.
No doubt. Yeah,
That's so
it's
that's so deep. I just wanted to chime in that
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it is. It
what we are
is.
talking
Totally is,
about
man.
is so subtle and so deep, and it's I mean, imagine everybody in the world splits up. Like every relationship just ends tomorrow. And the whole world is thrown into depression. And then imagine the awakening of the whole world. You know, this is what we're going through right now. We were all in this, oh, you know, Jesus loves me and God loves me, and you know, I'm sorry if anybody out there is religious, but you know, me personally, I'm beyond that because I, you know, for for the creator to be so magnificent as to create our human bodies and then dumb his word down to a book that only a certain few people who could read and write or could understand the language would actually be able to participate with and understand, you know, to me that just completely smashes the whole religious concept apart. So that's why I say that. But moving on,
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's just that's monotheistic beliefs. That's just how they are. You
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, we're waking up, you know, and a lot of us go through this like confused state. We're going through video after video, website after website. You know, is the Earth this? Is the Earth that? You know, did Jesus really live? And this and that. And so right now we're experiencing that. Oh my God, I can't believe she doesn't love me. Oh, I'm sick. I don't want to go to work. But I'm saying after 2020, probably like maybe 2025, we are going to be seeing the healing process and that whole attitude of, oh, I don't need the government. I don't need to pay taxes. And that, you know, I'm my own person. So I'm really looking forward to this, guys. I'm really looking forward to the next decade on this beautiful plane and staying in contact on this vibration with all of you guys. And, you know, I hope you guys stay safe. I hope we all stay safe. And you know, I hope that they don't steer the narrative and say, hey, you know what? We've been lying to you. It's flat, but it's only because there's a huge alien threat. And you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Just try to steer the narrative. So,
Yeah. Exactly. I know. I know. Believe me, I've thought of all sorts of possibilities why they might have been holding out and what they might use to say this is why we've been, lying to everybody. And that was definitely one of them, the alien narrative. Absolutely. I wanted to go back to the eclipse stuff, if you don't mind, for a second,
Yeah, sure.
because we didn't really get to go over that part. But you know, like you showed also the images and stuff from Earth, and you know the viewing from Earth, and then the moon, how it would look looking at the Earth, and the size of that. You want to go over that a little bit?
Yes, I did. Um, you know, when we, it doesn't matter where you are, your viewpoint is your viewpoint. Like your eyes see your peripheral view. You know, there's an X and Y and Z axis. You know, and that is your view. If you look around, you can see 360, but it doesn't matter. That's your view. So when we look up at the moon at night, we see a tiny orb of light. It's peaceful, it's happy, it's shining on us. And then we look to the NASA photos of the Earth from the moon, and it's just as small. It's just a little small marble in the sky. And that's very wrong, because if you know if you're standing on a mansion, on the roof of a mansion, and you're looking at a car, and the car is a little tiny thing, you know, in your distance, when you go into that car that you can see and you look back at the mansion, it shouldn't still look the same size as the car. The mansion should take up a lot more of your view space. And so they really messed that up there. I don't know if they thought maybe they were being clever and like, oh, but yeah, this is what it would look like, but it should fill up the sky. I mean, if we're I pulled up, just like you said, if you guys will go back to my Eclipse discrepancies video, if you look at the pictures of the Earth from the moon, you should be saying to yourself, well, this should be like, you should be looking like at a big picture of Africa, or you know, a very detailed shot of the Pacific Ocean, you know what I mean? But they give you this little moon-sized Earth in the sky, and then you look at how NASA, they had to go so far out to get the blue marble picture, and then a couple more days out, they land on the moon, and suddenly this blue marble turns into this faint little speck in the distance. It's just all wrong. It's all wrong, and everybody's talking about it. And so, I mean, yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, the perspective that we should be seeing, go ahead.
I agree with what you were saying, but you know, this kind of leads me back to talking about the SpaceX and the CGI Earth that they've been showing us, and like you know, like that's their perspective of it. Just when it first got launched, just maybe 200 miles allegedly above Earth, and low Earth orbit, and the fakery there is just it's retarded. I just needed to say that, and everyone couldn't agree with that. I mean, it's been something that's been going on. Everyone's been chatting about it. There's been a lot of strange things, bubbles like mad.
Oh yeah, a lot of strange. I mean, I think I'm gonna go live and do a little live stream about the fakeness of the SpaceX. Just being an artist and not seeing things that I want to see, and when I say want to, I'm talking about coming from a background of perspective, and I mean, perspective is my life. If I don't know what perspective is, I cannot sell a painting. So I when I look at this stuff, I mean, I'm not seeing any atmosphere. You know how it fades off into the atmosphere around the Earth. When I look at the SpaceX, I'm not seeing any atmosphere. I'm not seeing any rotation of the Earth. The Earth is not spinning. The clouds are not appearing and disappearing. They're just there. You know, there's no ice. There's no ice forming on the car when it goes into the shadow, because, you know, they say, oh, well, when you're in space, the sun, there's no atmosphere. So the sun hits your face and boils you and fries you. But the side that's faced into the dark, that freezes up. That's what they say. They say that if you were to put a ball into space, the half of it that would be facing the sun would boil and melt, and then the half of it that's facing the dark would freeze. That's what they say. Yet the car is spinning around and around, and the paint is not peeling.
Yeah. The
The
tires are still.
the tires are inflated. They're not
Yeah.
popped.
Do you think there would be dents in the metal of the car, or if it is?
I think that
if it is,
I think that there should be a bunch of space debris hitting it. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Or even the vacuum pressure of it, you're putting dents in the vehicle itself.
well, they say that the vacuum is not. It's not a pressure. It's like it's not where you. It's not. You don't implode under the pressure. You explode. You fly apart. The vacuum rips you apart. So yeah, we're not seeing the mirrors and the doors and the paint flake off and just explode away from it. The stitching that was made under our gravity to stitch two pieces of fabric together under our gravity pressure. We don't see it go off into space and completely unravel and explode and different. The metal under heat and cold should expand and contract. Mm-hmm. So as soon as that car is let out, one side should be crumpled up and the other side should be freaking expanded to the max. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why there isn't any impression, on the vehicle. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, even just the tires, like that's just how they're withstanding the temperature.
Oh, they put sand inside the tires. Come on.
Yeah.
they'll say something stupid like that.
Something stupid, but even in the sand, there's oxygen. Even in concrete, there's oxygen. You know what I mean? So it's just like, wow. I mean, a huge fail. No stars, no stars, no moon. I mean, we're all the way out there, and you notice there's no moon.
Yeah, and no satellites. Just like no satellites to document the lunar eclipse.
Right, and
that's no satellites to document this thing floating in space. Just the onboard cameras that are mounted there.
Right. They say when a satellite reaches exactly 42,000 kilometers from the center of the Earth, which is about 36,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface, it enters a sweet spot in which its orbit matches the Earth's rotation. Now, that was on earthobservatory.nasa.gov. But now, the reason I brought that up is because someone might say, well, you're not high enough to see the satellites. Yeah, but it's a sphere. Smart. I was going to say smart ass. I don't know if I can say ass on this, but it's a sphere, dummy. Like, you should be able to see the satellites behind the sphere. And if we're looking at an illuminated Earth because the sun is shining its light on it, then we should be able to see all these little specks and gleams as if somebody had stirred up some sand under the water and we're watching it speckle under. You know what I mean? We should see a whole bunch of specks behind gleaming around the Earth, but we don't see anything.
Like you're saying earlier, as soon as you walk away from the house is going to get smaller, but these satellites that they're getting closer to should appear more, right?
Right.
Like we're getting closer to these satellites, so we're not seeing them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And also, not to mention the fact that he launched that rocket, and then the same day we saw the whole Earth. But when we launched up the technology from NASA in the 50s, 60s that they destroyed, that they couldn't reduplicate, it took them like a couple days for them to get far enough to see the Earth. Right,
before they could do the
before they can get the whole image in there.
Shot, yeah.
But then SpaceX goes up, oh, it's launched. Okay, let's go to the live feed of the car. There's the Earth.
I was just like that. I know. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, I saw a lot of the guys did the breakdown on it, and Jeranism did it, and I think Issa got into it for a little bit. IPS got into it. Everybody, I think Bro Sanchez got into it. Everybody was breaking it
Yeah,
down. Even Crow and I. Crow and I were
even
getting
you
into
did
it.
it.
Yeah, we both did. You know,
Yeah, for
we had
two
our little
hours
thing
we were
going.
trying to look at that
Yeah,
thing.
Crow was getting. Yeah, he was taking photos of it and then zooming in on stuff, and yeah,
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 everybody's
it was
trying to
good.
dissect this bakery.
Yeah, but anyhow, yeah.
Okay.
Um, does anybody have questions for Masterpiece? Can move this forward a little bit more. I just got a little bit more, just a couple more questions about.
Yeah, yes. Anything?
I'm just asking if the guys on the panel, if Cats or Crow has a question,
Or the
or
chat?
yeah, or the chat. Yep. Yeah.
I'll go look at the chat as well and see.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should continue to talk about the eclipse, and because there's a few questions I would like to ask about that too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that I mean we can go from there.
Well, if nobody in the chat has any questions, yeah, go for it, Crow.
Yeah. Earlier you were talking about the view of the shadow coming down on the sun, right? And how we were getting the eclipse. What do you think that shadow is of?
I don't think it's a shadow.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Simply because there's, like I said in my lunar eclipse video, you guys all could check out. There's no wrapping or skewing or anything like that.
Yeah, dissipating anything.
Dissipating. Right. So, um, I I think the great thing about the video that I put out, it was a double-edged sword. I said the moon is not a sphere because the supposed shadow, it doesn't act like a shadow going over a sphere. But if the moon is a sphere, which I don't think it is, then that shadow that can't be a shadow because it's not wrapping and warping, then that must be another planetary body. And that's what I hope people will take away from it by saying, okay, well, it's not a shadow, then what is it? And then if you look to the east, to the Vedics and in a lot of like Indian Indian country Indian a lot of Indian civilizations, they have their writings with their old teachings about how this place works and what it is, and they mention Rahu and Ketu, and there's different names for it as you go across the nations, but Rahu and Ketu, Rahu who eats the sun, Ketu who eclipses the moon. um, that's a much easier way because, as I said, it looks like a disc moving in front of another disc. So I don't think it can be a shadow, but I do think it could be like another orb that is maybe like eating up light. Because I like if there's something out there, you'd think, okay, well, it has to light up, and if it doesn't light up, then how does it darken something? How can something be there that's going in front of something, making it darker, but it doesn't catch the light? So maybe it's eating up the light or something, but that's another discussion. But that's why I think that it is another body, because it looks like a sphere moving, a circle moving over another circle.
Now, I noticed that it's bigger than whatever it was like.
Yeah, much bigger.
Yeah, much bigger. So, do you think it was going in front of something, or that was emitting light because like a shadow, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I still hold to the fact that I feel that the moon is a lot higher than the body that passed in front of it.
Yes.
So the moon looks a lot smaller. Maybe it's bigger in reality, or maybe they're all the same size, like the ancients talk about. They put the sun and the moon next to each other, and they're the same size.
Yeah, Book of Enoch mentions that.
Right.
With the same size.
And so I'm thinking, okay, well, the only thing that can change size, if they're all the same size, then the only thing that could change the size is perspective and distance. So now I'm thinking, okay, the moon is very high, and Rahu or Ketu, whatever got in front of it, is a lot closer to us.
Yeah, and then I'm wondering where is that? Where in this realm is it, and why can't we see it? So now I'm trying to picture that.
Well, I mean, we can't see the wind, and we can't
Yeah.
see our souls and stuff like that. But some things make it apparent. Like when we breathe, the cold air makes our breath visible. And so it's not until it passes in front of the moon until it becomes visible. You know what I mean? And where is it going? I believe it's just going along its own circuit at its own heights, but it's just those certain times where the inclination is just right, where they seem to pass in front of each other, because it's not always a total lunar eclipse. You know, some years ago we had a partial lunar eclipse for everybody on the earth. So it's almost like it's passing up in levels, like it's, you know, it's higher than the body, and then it cuts it off from the top down like we saw, and then maybe in 100 years it'll be eclipsing from the bottom up, making this upward ascent. You know what I mean? It's very mysterious. Very mysterious indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a disc also. Like some sort of energy field, and what's eclipsing the moon. They say K2 has the a luminescent color to it. I'm sorry, like like red luminescence to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
like, okay, say if it's a
so that
disc, right?
when you
Sorry, go ahead.
guys can see it, yeah, no, I'll just finish this up. You know, you guys see the video and it does turn red. So, you know, that's probably what it really is, you know. And not it's obviously not what NASA's telling us. And
Definitely not.
it's been witnessed by a lot of people. So
Yeah.
So,
we just witnessed it ourselves. So there you go. I mean,
so Peace, like you were saying, so it's a disc, right? So if something's going over it or whatever body, it's also a disc maybe, and the reason we can't see it because it is black. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like it won't take much to cover it because it's not, you know, like you said, they could be all the same height, you know, or similar. So if it's also a disc, you know, it will go over it nice and perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel it's a hologram.
Yeah.
And, if it's a holographic image that we're seeing, then there is no shape to it to us. Like it in its holodeck where it's being projected from, it may have a shape. You know what I mean? Obviously, a circle. And if you think of like a kaleidoscope moving, my baby's in the background. If you think of like a kaleidoscope moving or sliding, um, sorry guys, it, if you have like a projector screen, what you're seeing on the wall is not what is in the projector. I mean, in a sense, it is giving out the information that is feeding into the projector, but it's not oriented in the same space. Like you can say, okay, this slide is this and this. Okay, next slide, and it'll be moving from left to right, left to right. To us, it'll be flat, 2D, moving left to right. But when we look at in the projector, it's a wheel going round and round, projecting these flat so-called images. So if I don't think the moon, what we're seeing is the moon. Like we look at the moon and we say, oh, can you land on it? Can you fly in it? No, it's a holographic projection from some sort of source, maybe the North Pole, maybe the North Star. But wherever that source of the projection is, I feel like that's where the shadow is also, the K2. So it's almost like me putting my hand in the projector and then you seeing a shadow on the wall and saying, look, there's another body on the wall that's moving in front of the picture that's already on the wall. No, it's the fact that inside of the holodeck, where it's projecting from, that is where that mechanism is taking place. So that's what makes it even more mysterious to me.
Yeah, it kind
I
of
like.
reminds me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was
It
very.
kind of
No, I like
reminds
how you
me of
said that. It's enigmatic. It's cool.
like a slideshow. You
Yeah.
know, like a slide projection. Like when the teacher walks in front of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Right.
it's that kind of effect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. When the teacher walks in front of it, you say, "Oh, there's the teacher. She's
Yeah.
walking in front of the image, and her shadow is projected."
Exactly.
So,
Because I was just thinking, like, wait a minute, I'm actually watching something that's not there. Because
right.
it reminds me like it's fake. It's on the wall.
Right. Exactly. We see the shadow pass over the moon, but we don't actually see the source of the shadow. And so that's why I'm saying, okay, I think everything is a projection from the one. I mean, we're all fractals, and there's probably some sort of arcane sciences that go into this that we are not aware of, but it works out more logically seeming if we realize that, the things that we are looking at are just projections and are not the actual things. Just like us, I look at you and I see Trotter and Cat's Eyes and Scarecrow, but you're not actually that body. You're not actually that corpus. You're so much more. You're infinite. You're everywhere. Your ideas. You could be thinking about Africa or remembering when you were in Australia. That's where you are. You feel the warmth and the happiness, and then you look at someone and you say, "Oh no, they're not there. They're in bed." Well, their corporal being is laying in bed, but they're dreaming about being here and here and here. So who's right? The person looking at the person, or the person that's actually sleeping saying, "No, I was, you know, dreaming of being in Australia, and this is where my spirit resided." So when we look at the moon, we can't say, "Oh, that's the moon." We got to think of it. Well, it must have something greater to it. When we look at a blade of grass, we know there's a whole root system. And when we look at trees, we know it's inhaling and exhaling, and all that stuff, but we don't see it. So we have to kind of get out of this whole, like, this is what it is because I see it. Like, we have to go a little bit into the metaphysics and say, well, if it's not a shadow, what is it? Well, I don't know, but it's not a damn shadow moving over the moon. That's all I know. So yeah, we just got to open up our perception a little bit and think as above, so below.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not what they're telling us. That's for sure. No doubt, man. No doubt. Where's Kat?
I don't know. I think she's hanging around somewhere.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Uh,
Yeah. This isn't because I don't talk. It doesn't mean I'm not here. I'm listening.
I'm looking through the chat. What's going on out there to all you flatheads? Ginger Sugar Bush 905 says, "Masterpiece. So the eclipse is coming from the top left. How does that work in the heliocentric system?" It doesn't, Sister Ginger Sugar Bush. It doesn't work in the heliocentric system, as we went over. It's just, if the sun is above the horizon, which would mean it would be shining its light down, and then the moon is also above the horizon, there should be no shadow. It would continue the projection downward. So the fact that there is a shadow at the top of the moon, yet the sun and the moon are both above the horizon, shows that there's been a lie, which is why I'm leaning towards more the holographic projection. Like somebody putting their finger inside of the projector and making the shadow on the wall, not simply walking in front of the projector's light, because then we should be able to see Ketu. We should be able to say, "Hey, that's Ketu, and it's shining and its shadow is being projected onto the moon." But no, we know that Oh shoot. I called Ginger Sugar Bush 905 a sister. I didn't know if she was a girl or a guy. I don't know what. I just say sister because we're all brothers and sisters on this plane, but hopefully I didn't offend. But yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a hologram, because we don't look up and say, "Hey, there's Ketu shining its shadow," because A, we know that that's how shadows don't work over spheres, and B, we don't see the body that's projecting it. So yeah, it's just it's all an enigma, and we're all trying to figure it out together, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Of course. Crow, you got any questions? You want to move forward from that?
No, not right now. I'm talking too much. Sorry.
It's okay.
I feel like I'm talking too much, but I'm enjoying the conversation.
Well, you answered my question. I didn't have to ask it because I was going to ask you what you thought it might be before, and Crow asked you, and you basically answered it about it not being the shadow, being something actually passing, like obstructing the actual light source. And no, yeah, that's an interesting take. Yeah, good stuff, brother. I was gonna ask you something else. I'm sorry, man. I'm just a little looking at something here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I want to say how your video about the shadow and how it dissipate, I thought it was brilliant. It was just like I never know, like you said, the shadow would take the shape of, right, like you said, the steps. It would take the shape of the steps, and like the cup, the inside of the cup, you will see a little bend, and how we don't see that in Eclipse. So I thought that was brilliant how you did that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. I've thought about that since I was like in the first, second grade. Amazingly, I've forgotten it though. I when the flat Earth truth came to me, and I was looking into the Earth and the curvature, suddenly it gets into the sun and the moon, and once I said, okay, well, they lied to us. I looked up again at the eclipse, and I was like, oh shit, I remember. Oh shoot, I remembered when I was very young. I mean, I don't even remember what grade, but I was playing with paintings and blocks and stuff like that. I remembered that I had a discrepancy of the fact that, like, I would put my hand over a railing and it would bend and curve over the railing, yet I'm looking at a perfect, all the way through, a perfect 360-degree shadow go over a spherical object. And even as a kid, I never agreed with it. But I never asked the question until I was awoken to this. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm just glad that I'm being so accepted by the community, and I'm glad that I'm being uh, so receptive to this knowledge, because like I like to cross-reference a lot of things and say, okay, well, it can't be a disc because we go up higher than it and we don't see it turn ovular or flat. It can't be a sphere because of the shadows, and I think about holograms and how they work. And if you guys know, they have this new hologram toy where it's like in a pyramid, and your whole family is looking at this pyramid at the hologram, but everybody's seeing the same image no matter what angle you're from. So you're looking at the face of a frog. I'm on the opposite side of you, and I'm looking at the face of a frog, and you know what I mean. So the hologram projects, it caters to the viewer's eyes. It's personal. So that's where I'm leaning right now.
Yeah, that's yeah, I've seen that before. That's pretty cool stuff, actually. The way the way it's working to the viewer. Again, like I was saying before, it's like the sun and the moon is something, everyone has their own sun and moon. It's your perception and the way you perceive it is through your own eyes. It's like it's a very personal experience. Literally, that's just what it is. Um, it's,
Yeah, it reminds me of a video. I don't know if you've seen it. Masta, where the alligator, no matter what position you move the camera, the alligator is always looking at you. And so it's just no matter, like when you said that, no matter what the family was looking at, the angle is always the same image, and that's what the alligator was doing.
Yeah. Yes. And
There's a illusion. It's like an illusion on the table. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it's really trippy. It's cool that they could do that. They've even incorporated that into sound. There's certain ads that you can only hear when you look at, like billboards that'll say like Victoria's Secret. You know what I mean? It you don't hear it, but when you look at it, you hear Victoria's Secret. You know, so they figured out a way where they can manipulate the sound waves to only be perceivable when your ears are perpendicular to the image. And so like when your ears are at a 90-degree angle towards what you're looking at, is that's when you're going to hear it. So there's a lot of this like personalization ads and personalization toys. And I feel like the sun and the moon are the same thing. I feel like inside of us we have a sun and a moon, and it's working our interior circadian system and our rhythm. And because it's interior to us, because it's innate in us and inside of us, we project that outwardly into the sky. We have to have it. I have a pineal gland, I have a thymus gland. When I look out, I see the pineal and I see the thymus in the sky. Why? Because I have it inside of me, and so it's projecting outward, and I need it to live. Something like that. It's going to take some more wording to be able to like get that theory right, and to I'll probably make a video of it. But
Yeah, I could see where you're going with it, though. I'm sure there's some sort of interconnection. You know, we are connected to this universe, or God, if you will. You know, to the one source. So we're talking about omnipresence and ubiquity. You know, that sort of thing. So
Yeah. I mean, now that I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures of the moon and recording the moon, you know, like you said, that, you know, I want to see it through my own eyes, you know, just so I can say it like for myself. Like I did the research, I did it, you know, and so I can't wait to figure out, you know, like you said, I might see it different when I look through it, you know. So I definitely want to see that angle, my angle, I guess, as you were saying earlier, right? I might experience it different, and I can't wait just to, you know, I feel like I officially I'm a flat earther now that I'm dedicating my time to looking at the moon. So that's why I'm so fascinated about what you're talking about, and it's opening my eyes to like the artistic side of it. That I probably
awesome.
would have never thought of it.
Awesome. I can't wait for you to upload those pictures and videos. And, you know, when you get the settings right, you're going to have to play with the aperture and the exposure
Yeah,
levels and all that. But once you get that right, I mean, the moon is just the first stepping stone. And once you look at Venus and Jupiter and
yeah,
Mars, that's just
mhm.
going to be amazing.
yeah. That's I'm baby step the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. Yeah, like you know, I got Luke Mitchell that's going to help me, Sandra P900, and there's many other people that have been helping me try to, you know, get to the position to learn about the moon for myself. So I can't wait, and I appreciate your insight into this. So
Definitely. And
Yeah.
you know what? Just put your email in, or no, you already have my email. So
yeah, we've been talking
yeah,
throughout the couple
exactly.
weeks. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we've been talking. So just email me. I'm gonna be in contact with you with like ideas of what to take. And
oh, thank you.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like even land things. I mean, you're gonna be able to see on the land way further than you should be able to see. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be very interesting. Uh, and we can cross reference. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I want to get a P900 so badly.
Oh,
How did it
Yeah.
feel when you opened it
Oh,
up?
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you what, I felt like a little kid again because I knew how much it cost, but it was like when I first zoomed out and it was like so silent, I felt like a brand new car or something. It felt so real though. I was like, I got excited. I ain't gonna lie. So I suggest everybody try to get one. You know, just for their, you can take it with the moon and stuff, but just for family, nature, birds, animals, but just like, yeah, it's a whole new world. So yeah, I appreciate any help, and anybody's listening. If they want to help me, that's fine. But uh, I think it's very important for us to just research our own self, look it through our own angle, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, that's gonna be, yeah. He said it's gonna be good stuff, brother. What I mean, yeah. I'm excited for you, Cats. What do you think?
Yeah.
What I think about what you guys are just talking, I don't know. Mm, I'm not into.
Oh, Cats, you know you want a P900. You told
Oh
us.
yes, I do want a
Come
P900.
on. Like
Yes.
there's a bluebird outside my, window in the morning. Like I need to get that bluebird. I might have to trick it by feeding it, stuff. But I want to take. I love bluebirds, so I can't wait to get a hold of. It's right in front of the house, so it's perfect. But yeah, you were saying you wanted one too.
Yeah. I yeah, I do. I have three choices. I need to think about which one I want. It's the P900 or another PC or laptop. I mean, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking. But a P900, I think I'm gonna go for because I want to go take some nice, awesome pictures. Another, not the moon or the stars, other things.
Yeah, you
But
say you like hiking, so it'd
yeah,
be perfect for
Well,
it.
you could buy a different camera and still get a telescope lens for it, or mount it to a telescope.
I would recommend out of those three choices the P900 simply because you can always get secondhand laptops. But man, I've been looking around for secondhand P900s and on Kijiji and like eBay. Man, they're hard to come by. And to buy like a Nikon or a Canon and to get like a convertible lens, like say you can find a Canon telescopic lens and you have to convert it to Nikon and all, it's just so much headache. Like if I didn't have like a PC or a laptop, I would just get the camera. I know people that have laptops. I can just upload the images on there. You know what I mean? Like that camera I could take with me for family photos or whatever. You don't have to always be zoomed all the way in, but I mean, it'll just add to your life. I have a DSLR and I love it. I take pictures of my baby with it and all that. But if I would rather a P900 over any of these things.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I don't know much about cameras, so but I know there's other options that you can do other things to build your own zoom capacity.
Yeah, you can. And when you do look at those, they're huge lenses. Like
Hmm.
if I got a telescopic lens for my Nikon D300S, I would be holding something that would like be the size of my arm. You know what I mean? Just to get what the
Yeah, I've
P900
actually seen those
has.
before. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the
Yeah.
P900 somehow they did it and it's like compact and small. Man, I'm saving up for one too, man.
Does it shoot in 4K?
I don't think it shoots it. I think it was out before 4K. But you know,
No,
4K is does
the
it? Does it shoot 4K?
no, I don't.
No, I don't think.
At least the one I got it doesn't. I mean,
I didn't
Oh
think it
man, you
did.
got
no,
ran.
4K is too new. I
You
think
got you
4K
got
is
ran. I'm sorry. No,
overrated.
I'm kidding.
no, I don't think they make it with 4K.
No,
Honestly,
4K is overrated. It'll be in and out.
Is it?
In
All right.
2 years, 4K will be gone. It'll be gone. But yeah, guys, I got dinner waiting for me upstairs with my family.
Alrighty. Yeah, brother.
I'm just gonna try to get out of here and enjoy some time with them, and then I gotta go face the snowstorm again tomorrow. freaking Canada.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Now we're gonna have like warmer weather, and it's supposed to rain now. Whatever.
Oh, rain, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That'll melt the snow away.
It's like a slush. It's like it's just been nasty out, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Master, thanks for coming by and just doing a little catch up on that recap on your last vid.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
else has any questions. We can just we can close this out. We can shut it down, cats.
Okay.
Anybody want to add to what he said, or I know he needs to go, so
Yeah.
we're good. We're good. All right.
We are.
All
Thanks
right,
for
everybody.
coming.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah, go ahead, cats. Shut it down.
Thanks for coming, Master. Like always.
Hey, of course, no problem, man. I mean, I love giving my time to people, so you guys are genuine people. Nice to talk to you in kind of face to face, or I guess you could say interface to interface, Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll send you the link about the moon too.
yeah, cool. Do that, and we'll chat back and forth. Everybody out there in the chat, and Flat Trotter and Cat's Eyes, thanks so much, and thanks for having me on the show, guys.
It's
You got
like
it, brother.
Nice
Yeah, man.
meeting you.
it's like they say, Master. Mi casa, nuestro casa, es tu casa.
Oh, what does that mean? Because I heard of Mikasa Sukasa. But
In other words, our house, which is the hangout, is your house.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome.
Nuestra casa.
Touch. Thank you so much, Kat.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man. Much love, man. Much love over here, brother.
Much
Thanks
love,
a lot.
guys. Peace,
All right,
power,
man.
and protection to all of you.
Yep. Peace out.
Well, thanks. We're gonna stop. Okay, thanks everybody for coming. And tomorrow will be another good hangout. Please join us on the panel tomorrow with the research group. Connor, you want to say anything?
No, I'm good. Yeah, just thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you guys around. Peace out.